Wake up. This is a brand new episode of Wake Up Bright.
Wake up.
With your workout buddies, April and sometimes Jenna. Your hit podcast. Your much needed hit of encouragement, empowerment, and motivation to live and grow each day a little brighter.
Hey, beautiful people. Welcome back to Wake Up Bright, our podcast. I'm April Lauren and
I'm Jenna.
And we are going to talk about our time wasters. Before we do, my grandpa shared a poem with me today, and I thought I would share that poem with y'all because I thought it was really good. I don't know if I'll read the whole poem, but it's really good. The author's name is Rudyard Kipling. And so the poem is called If.
If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too, if you can wait and not be tired by waiting, or being lied about, don't deal in lies, or being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good nor talk too wise. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make your thoughts your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disasters and treat those two imposters just the same, if you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or watch the things you give your life to broken and stoop and build them up with worn out tools, if you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn of pitch and toss and lose and start again at your beginnings and never breathe a word about your loss, if you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they're gone, and so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will, which is to say, hold on. If you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings nor lose the common touch, if neither foe nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count with you but none too much, if you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth and everything that's in it, and, which is more, you'll be a man, my son.
It's like a gigantic motivational thing.
Yeah, I mean, to summarize it all, it's like be determined and work fiercely towards your goals and do it in spite of the fact that once you get there, it's kind of all in vain. Like it can disappear in an instant and there you are with worn out tools to rebuild again. Mm-hmm. But the point is to continue forward, to enjoy the journey, to not be
and I think also to take the risk.
Yeah.
If you don't take any risks, you're not rewarded and you never know what might happen.
And you're not living.
Exactly.
If you're not building and rebuilding, like what are we doing with life? He said that to me and it really struck like 5 million chords. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so powerful. I'm going to share it. So thanks, Paul. If you're listening, thanks. You helped me out.
Yay.
Yeah, and he's like, well, take this poem and send it to your husband. That's what he told me. He's like, and tell him it's from me. I'm like, okay. Okay.
Fine.
I don't know. I love my grandpa. The end. So I think tying that poem into what we're doing here is if we face our own demons and work towards overcoming them, then we'll be better. And sometimes, the devil's in the details where does our time go? Like our life is built up of moments, and it's important to prepare for the future. It's also important to live each moment right now and to not dwell on anything that has passed, whether it's awesome, like you did great, or if you failed, it doesn't matter because it's in the past. You have right now, and right now is what's going to get you to tomorrow. So tomorrow is also important. Where do you want to go? And with that, we've done our little time studies. As I've shared, I did mine, but last week was not a normal week for me. Last week, if I use that as my like template, I was very productive last week. I had no choice but to be very productive. I waste so much time. And so Jenna and I are going to share a few ways that we waste our time and some remedies for that, even if it's just a discussion. The first thing that I want to talk about as far as time wasters is with technology, and whether you work from home or you work somewhere, there's so much time for you to get distracted. Like it's only like it's like a millisecond away from typing in like YouTube on your browser or Facebook or checking your phone and getting pulled in. And once you're pulled in, it is such a time suck. All social media is such a time suck. And so the first thing that I've noticed is that I waste so much time, even if it's only like a couple minutes here and a couple minutes there, it adds up. And so one of the first things that I want to do is limit my access to social media, whether that's YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. I'm not allowed anymore to just sporadically check it. Like I need a time to check it. And that's just going to be it.
Yes. I definitely do waste time on social media. I think sometimes in the mornings, or if I want to go for a walk and I'm like, I want to listen to something. So I don't know if it's technically not social media, but it's still on my phone, because then I'm trying to find a podcast to listen to if I already listened to the ones that I usually listen to. So I just keep wasting time and not going for my walk or whatever, because I'm just trying to find something. And then before bed, so when I'm trying to go to bed early, somehow 3 hours later, I'm still on TikTok watching videos. So TikTok is definitely the biggest.
Oh, TikTok is terrible. It's terrible. It's such a time suck because I was on and literally like 30 minutes later, it's like, why did I get on here? So I just don't do TikTok. Like if I can help it, I do TikTok. When you send me something from TikTok, or my sister sends me something from TikTok, or on Instagram, if somebody shares a funny TikTok story and I feel the need to rewatch it 50 times, then I get on TikTok. And it's never just that one thing. It's sneaky too, because with my job, like I do a lot of editing. And so I feel like I'm like, okay, I'm going to edit this video and it's going to take me 4 hours. I haven't done like a super detailed time study on this, but like, I don't know how I would do it, just tally it or what, but I know while in my mind, I'm spending 4 hours editing a video, probably at least 10 minutes of every hour, which adds up. That's like 40 minutes worth of the 4 hours. It's almost like a whole like quarter of the time. I'm like, I wonder if there's like a new comment on my latest video. I wonder what's going on Facebook or on Instagram. And sometimes I'll pull out like out of habit. I just will be sitting there and all of a sudden I have Instagram open and my husband's like, what are you looking at? And I'm like, I have no idea. I have no idea. So
I feel like I do the same thing. I just keep opening apps. I have like a mission what I was supposed to do in that app, and then I don't remember. Like maybe I'm reading the news and I wanted to check someone's Instagram or whatever, and then I go to the app, Instagram, and then I forget what I was supposed to do there, and I keep scrolling pictures or whatever. Then I go back to my news. I'm like, I forget, and then I go back, and it's just so distracting. So I'm trying to learn a little bit out of that. That I'm going to do stuff immediately.
Yeah. Something else I do that's a big time waste for me. And I know there are other people out there who do this too. And I did this before social media. So I can blame it on social media now, but I used to do the same thing before. So I'll get my car and I'll drive to the gym and then I'll just sit there. It's like do. And then I get done working out and I come back to my car and I drive home, and in the driveway, I just sit there for like however long. Sometimes it's like 20 minutes. Like I'll just sit there. I know not everybody does this. I know not everyone does it. Or maybe some people do one or the other, but not both. I waste so much time. A 1 hour trip to the gym will take me 2 hours because I will leave early thinking I'm going to go in early, and then I'll just sit there. I do that when I get to the grocery store too. Like I don't do.
I guess a tip for you would be to just get the F out of the car immediately.
Yeah. And I'm like, this is where I'm like, because I've been wondering lately, I'm like, where is my whole life going? Like what's happening to it? And I do spend a lot of time. Like when I go and I walk like 5 miles, I walk slow. That's like at minimum, like 90 minutes to 2 hours of my life. Right there. So, yeah.
I think one of my other biggest time wasting is that when I'm home, I think I'm going to go outside with my son and whatever. And this dog, I start to try to find clothes because we're still kind of unorganized in our bedroom, like our closet and whatever. Or then I don't know if they're the laundry or whatever. And it's somehow I just end up wasting time just wondering if I should go outside, what should I wear, where can I find all my stuff? And like, it's so stupid. I think that's one of the things. I just keep wandering around the house trying to get stuff together.
Would be really good for you. The Focus Keeper. It was like $5 for the year, but like literally you just put in your thing. So like, let's say you're sitting there and you're thinking like, I need some winter clothes because it's cold outside. Well, then you just put your Focus app on, and then for 25 minutes, like you can do that. But like literally it's just beeping down. I mean, you don't have to use the app. You could literally just use a timer. I don't know. I've been trying to do that more recently, a week.
And I noticed that like, I think it's just, I'm like trying to figure out if the decision making takes me forever now. My husband would definitely agree. You can't make a decision.
Same.
I can, but then if it's a mundane thing and it doesn't really matter, then I'm just like, I don't know.
That's why I think the lists are helping me, because it's taking
time. I like to do things fast, so
it's taking the thought. It says my internet connection's unstable, so if we're having an unstable connection right now, I'm sorry. But I like the list, like the reoccurring list, because if I had to make this list or remember these things every day, even though it's like obvious things I shouldn't have to think about, I just won't do them. It's like, oh, like I'm gonna, so I wake up and I'm gonna make my bed. Well, my husband's still sleeping. So I don't make the bed when I first get up, which is annoying. But then all of a sudden it's like noon and my bed's still not made because he slept longer than I did. And like that's something that bothers me. So that's not something that bothers everyone, but having it on my little list, I'm like, oh, I didn't do that, and I need to go do that. It's like something so simple. It takes like 2 seconds to do, and it makes me happier and like more positive.
Yeah, definitely. It's just a little accomplishments that kind of feed the positive cycle of the day. And like this morning, I was like very happy because my son slept in finally. And I was like, you know what? Before making him breakfast, I'm going to take the dog out for a walk. So now I actually have the time to just me and the doggy. So that was nice. And I got to walk alone in the crisp morning air. So that was fun. And then I got to make breakfast. I got to eat my breakfast in peace. So that was a pretty good start for the day. But then I realized I didn't have anything clean that I would like to wear, like my yoga pants or workout pants, whatever.
Yeah.
So here I was doing laundry and being like, well, I'm going to wait now, because waiting was more appealing than going through the bags of clothes that we have and trying to find where my other workout pants are, because at least one pair is missing. So I don't know. And I know I've seen them here. I've worn them here. So I don't know where they disappeared again. They're somewhere, and I just need to organize and purge so I can be free of this.
That's what I need to do. I need to purge my life. Like we've got so much. I know that we did that in Missouri, but like Missouri, I didn't even touch the surface. Like we need to go through so much stuff. And by we, I know it just means I, and I think that's when I get overwhelmed. I'm like,
I think it's the same thing. Like, I think it's unfair and annoying that it's all put on me. It isn't all put on me, but that's how I feel because I'm the one who's home all day. But we should do it together so I don't throw anything of his away that needs to be kept. I might do that by accident or what he wants to keep. But I don't know.
Yeah.
One of these days, it should be like a weekend or something.
So this isn't a common time waste for me. I waste my time in small increments around doing something productive. So then at the end of the day, it feels like I should have been so productive and I should have accomplished so much because I'm like, all I did was edit. But it's little things in between. So this next one isn't necessarily something that I personally do on a regular basis, but I do it kind of. So I'll elaborate. So I just read this stat yesterday, or maybe somebody said it like on something I was listening to, that the average American spends like 7 hours a day on like Netflix television, not just Netflix, but like TV. 7 hours. Like that's a full work day. No wonder.
It really is. That's what, like, that is another thing I forgot to mention. Like me and my husband sometimes, like when we put our son to bed and whatever, we start watching a show, and I know he's really bad at it because I'm like, okay, we watch one episode, I'm done, I'm going to go to bed. But he's like, no, this is one more.
Yeah.
He's really bad at that. So all of a sudden I'm like, so now we watch 3 episodes and it's midnight and we need to go to bed. And then there's no time. Well, you do have time, but it's like you're tired already and you should do all your night routines or whatever. And it's just, and then I get stressed because, well, personally that stresses me out because I don't have time to do my things and, I get situated.
Yeah.
And I'm just like feel rushed to get into bed. And then I open TikTok. Because I'm stupid.
So I don't do that regularly. Like there's nothing that I watch regularly, but when certain shows come out, especially with Netflix, the way they put everything out, I want to say, golly, over 2 days. So whenever you came out, it was recently. I watched that.
Yeah, it was on the 15th or something.
Yeah, I watched that entire season in 2 days. That was not my plan for those days. I had plans, even though it was like weekend days. Like I had things I wanted to get done. Nope. I sat my happy butt there and I watched 5 million episodes.
That's like how usually we do it, but somehow we still haven't watched You. We started with the first episode and then I was not feeling it that day. I don't know what I was doing, but I'm just like, whatever, and then went to bed. But we did watch, well, I don't know. I feel like we have too many shows to watch. But we just finished Ted Lasso from Apple TV. We also watched The Morning Show from Apple TV. Then we watched Only Murders in the Building from Hulu, which was really, I liked it. And then what else did we watch? And then now we have You. We had something else too, but that's already 4 shows.
So I love The Bachelor and Bachelorette franchise. Now I don't really love it anymore. Hannah B season's the last season that I really watched, but I watched the episodes. Then like my aunt and my cousins like watched, and like we would like text and stuff back and forth. And then I would also watch like podcasts about The Bachelor, like while I was doing other things, but it was such a waste of my like mental space. Bachelor and Bachelorette.
I do love reality TV though. That's another thing I love. Like Love Island is one of my favorites and Temptation Island, but that's about it. This is not the,
we're watching
not the podcast.
We're watching Survivor right now. That's the only TV show. And it just came on, I think. I don't know how many episodes we are behind. But like, I don't remember. I think he was looking football stuff up and I was like, Survivor. We're going to watch Survivor now. I feel like low key, that would be like a dream to go and do Survivor.
I would watch that.
I would be so whiny. I'm sure I would sit home like the first day. They'd be like, who is this short, squatty, round person who's whining? She's crying. She's crying in the sand. But like I said, low key dream. Low key dream. So what are your time wasters? We want to know. Let us know, and let us know what your plan is to combat that. For me, I have so many little time wasters. My main way of combating that is using these apps and also just using the timer on my phone. And then doing to-do list. And
yes,
also,
I need to definitely do the to-do list too. I think most of my like the little time wasting, like the little minutes that I waste, they just add up, and it's because I just wander around wondering what I want to do. And I don't have a clear plan, and I'm going to be like, maybe I should do it, maybe I shouldn't. And then that ends up
I
taking
wonder how much COVID, like in the fact that we all stayed in our homes for so long, has to do with that. Because I wonder how many people do that. I used to not do that, but I so often.
Right? I don't think I ever did that before.
I just wander around and I'm like, what am I supposed to be doing sometimes? It's like I have a mission and then I'm like, oh no, where did it go? And then
I've noticed that I'd rather not leave my house ever since we moved. It's everything is kind of close by, but then with the traffic, it is not. So it takes time, and I feel like it needs to be planned, so I can't just get up and go.
Yeah.
And that's just frustrating, and I'd rather not leave. I'd rather just order online everything that I need. So it'll be an adjustment to get used to and like figure out the traffic hours and what's the worst time to go and what's the best time to go to avoid stuff. I know I-95 is always jacked up, jammed, messy, and all.
That was terrible when I left there. Like literally 3 hours later, I was like 30 miles down the road.
Right. That's what my husband said, that usually, if something is 10 miles away, it's not going to take you 30 to 40 minutes. But here it's almost every time something is 10 miles away and it takes you 30 minutes to get there.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
That's a little frustrating, but hopefully I'll get used to it.
Another thing with the to-do list that I'm making, I'm being more specific. So instead of like make a YouTube video, for instance, I'm like breaking it down into, okay, I need to film the video. I need to edit the video. Then I need to upload and do like the background stuff. Like I'm just making lists. And so I can even break that down further. Like I need to select music for the video. And I'm just using this because it's a familiar example, but it could be any project that you're working on. Like, let's say you have a really messy garage and you're like, clean the garage. Well, that's a huge task. It's going to take many hours in most cases. Like, how can you break it down into manageable items where you can leave it? So if you're going to be distracted, and we're all going to be distracted, you could be like, hold on, I'm going to get to the stopping point, which is completing this task before I move forward.
And honestly, I don't think it even needs to be a project. It can be your everyday things like, hey, first, when you wake up, gather your dirty clothes, do laundry, make breakfast, eat breakfast, go through the news while you're eating breakfast, or scroll your social media at that time. But as soon as you're done eating, take your plates away, check the dishes, do the dishes and stuff like that. So like make an itemized to-do list, I would say. Is that like a descriptive one? I don't know, at least if you like doing to-do lists. If you don't, then maybe that's not the right thing for you. But I love to-do lists and planning. So
yeah,
I definitely need to get on it. And
yeah, I definitely feel like that's going to solve a lot of my time management stuff is making my to-do list and then finding ways. It doesn't have to be like the timer thing or an app. The app is probably not ever going to be anyone's answer, but finding ways that work for you and your personality to keep you on task in increments. So, I mean, you don't have to do it all at once. You can break things down as little as you need to break them down, but just moving things forward.
Exactly. And like nobody else is going to see your to-do lists. So they can be as detailed as they need to be, and it doesn't matter what you write in them. They can feel ridiculous to you, but as long as it works for you, then it works for you, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah. And there's also like, you don't even have to do to-do. You can do voice memos. That's another thing I like about Asana is that you can do voice to task. So I don't have to actually write down all of the tasks. I can just press a button and then I can record it. So if there's something I want to do later. So I don't know. Asana's gotten pretty in depth.
Oh, and with iPhone, there's the reminders app that is built in. That has a way of reminding you to do something when you hit a certain spot or a certain time. And I've done it a couple of times when I'm like, hey, I need to remember something when I get home or when I get to work or whatever. So I can put the location in the app saying that when I arrive to this location, remind me of doing,
That's awesome.
doing this and this.
I didn't know that.
I think you can utilize Siri too, being like, hey, remind me to check whatever when I get home. And it does that when you get home the next time. Awesome. So it's like one of those little hidden features that people don't know about.
Yeah. I need to like do some research and find out how my phone can actually help my life.
I think there's multiple features that people don't use. I like to look into all of these things because I feel like I'm spending a lot of money on a phone and I want to use every single feature that there is that is, useful for me. So I usually look up stuff. Apple does have an app.
I was very unexcited about my Apple Watch until you. Like, I knew all about the Apple because I guess you had been researching them for a while when I got mine.
I did.
Kind of like
I was trying to talk myself out of it.
Enjoy that I can press a button and find my phone, and you're like, wait a minute, you are what's wrong with the world. Let me tell you what you should really be excited about. And then I learned all about my phone. It was
all right. There's this app called Tips on your iPhone that gives you tips over your Apple Watch and all your phone and the new iOS 15 and everything.
Nice.
So I should utilize that more.
So I know
today's hired by Apple.
Today's video has been a little all over the place, but
that's how we are. So
yes, that's true. But I think I would guess that a lot of the things that we found are our time wasters are probably your time wasters too. And if they're not, we'd love to hear about it. So I will put up a story for you to respond to on Instagram, drop it in the comments if you're watching on YouTube, or shoot us an email if you're listening. And it'll be the apps that I mentioned. I did not link them yesterday. I completely forgot. So I'm going to go back and link them there, but I'll also link them on this video if you're interested. And you can take it or leave it. I am not affiliated with any of these apps. And I'm actually pretty disappointed. I've been trying to find like a really awesome app. So if you're an app creator and you're listening to this, you should create a really awesome like productivity plan your life app.
Exactly.
That's not linked to any sort of mastermind course, because that's not what I'm here for. But we love you guys. Thanks for tuning in with us another day.
Thank you.
And we will see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.